A cast of interesting characters is essential in producing a compelling and captivating film. While the screenwriter and director may have a hand in bringing a character to the actor, it is the actor's duty to bring the character to fruition, and sometimes that can be unforgettable. Every supporting player has the potential of shining just a little bit brighter than everyone else. Here are 10 amazing movie characters who completely steal the show. Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. It is hard to believe that there was a time before Harley Quinn, but unlike her maniacal paramour, the Joker, who first appeared in DC Comics in 1940, she did not make her first appearance until 1992 in Batman the Animated Series. In that time, she's become one of the most popular characters in the DC universe. It was the eagerly anticipated Suicide Squad that combined all of the Harley Quinn fervor into one tremendous portrayal by the stunning Margot Robbie. Harley's beguiling beauty is made even more fascinating by her absolutely psychotic dedication to the Joker. But the Joker takes a backseat to his girlfriend in Suicide Squad. There is a reason why each of the film's trailers featured Harley Quinn front and center, and completely steals every scene she's in and has a good laugh about it afterward.
Took a hard, violent fall, kind of pinballed down, hit a lot of railings, broke a lot of shit.
Megan in Bridesmaids. Career-changing performances are abound in Bridesmaids. From Rose Byrne cementing her position as a comedic actress, to Rebel Wilson's uproarious introduction to audiences. However, it is the character of Megan who truly takes the wedding cake on this one.
It's coming out of me like lava!
Melissa McCarthy stepped into the role of a feisty, golden retriever-stealing woman who also happens to be an incredibly considerate friend and possibly the character in the movie with the biggest heart. Bridesmaids has become a modern comedy classic, and the same can go for the character of Megan.
You're gonna be fine, baby doll.
Hit Girl from Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is a film about a normal teenage boy who is such a big fan of comic books and superheroes that he decides to take a page from his favorite heroes and rid the streets of crime. After getting beat up far too many times because he has no actual superpowers, he comes across the next character on our list, Hit Girl. Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl steals every scene she's in, and frankly, the film probably should have been called Hit Girl, but everyone loves an underdog, and Hit Girl is far too good at everything to be an underdog. Hit Girl also carries an emotional pull for audiences, as she is still just a little girl playing in the big bad world. Hit Girl is one kick-ass movie character. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. When thinking about the 1992 Academy Award-winning film The Silence of the Lambs, most people immediately think of Hannibal Lecter. However, Lecter was not the main character, and was actually only in 25 minutes of the 2-hour film.
You think you can dissect me with this blunt little tool?
The character of Hannibal Lecter is terrifying, brilliant, and has some of the most memorable lines in film history. Lecter is a truly delicious film character. Steve Buscemi in Con Air. In a film that also includes scene-chewing efforts by Ving Rhames, Dave Chappelle, and John Malkovich, Buscemi's Garland is just fantastic. In a plane full of criminals, he may be one of the few that seems like a decent guy. He is, of course, a deranged serial killer.
One girl, I drove through 3 states wearing her head as a hat.
But there is almost something satisfying that his final moments of the film see him on a winning streak in a casino and having the best time.
Put the monkey down and your hands up!
Jay and Silent Bob in Clerks. The foul-mouthed twosome have appeared in more Kevin Smith projects than any other actor. It all started in 1993 when Smith was working on his film Clerks and asked his buddy Jason Mewes to play drug dealer Jay. It was simple enough, as the character was based on a teenage muse.
Oh my god, I didn't even recognize you.
The characters, who were supposed to be random dudes standing on the sidelines, managed to carve their own place in pop culture history. Smith was so sure audiences enjoyed the New Jersey duo, he and Mewes made the film Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
This flick may be the worst idea since Greedo shooting first.
Even with their escalating notoriety, it was their debut in the grainy Clerks that created characters that stole the show.
Wow! These guys are good.
The Joker. The Joker has always been an interesting scene-stealing character in every interpretation of the role. The one that sticks out among all others is Heath Ledger's portrayal. Hi. Which annihilated any past or future attempts at the grinning lunatic. Ledger's performance was no joke, with uncomfortable moments that washed away any trace of the actor playing him, but maintained a kinetic quality throughout each scene in the movie. Even the scenes he wasn't in were made more exciting, as audiences did not know when to expect his entrance and what may be next. Jack Black in High Fidelity. In the 2000 John Cusack starring comedy, High Fidelity, Jack Black steals the show, essentially playing himself. His character, Barry, is a bombastic music elitist with over-the-top declarations and memorable rants. Black's previous roles in films flew under the radar for the most part, only occasionally triggering mild interest. But the character of Barry allowed Black to completely unravel in the best way possible. The engaging comedy is adapted from a Nick Hornby novel, and bubbles with charm and humor. But Barry still manages to give the film a jolt of energy. The final moments of the film bring the house down, with Barry and his band, Barry Jive and the Uptown Five. The crowd goes wild, and so did viewers. Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War. Spider-Man has had plenty of opportunity to be front and center. Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker exhibited the awkwardness of adolescence, guilt over losing Uncle Ben, and the elation of love with Mary Jane. Andrew Garfield gave audiences a more cocky and confident Peter Parker. It would seem that excitement for the web-slinging superhero has been exhausted. That was until Spider-Man flung back into a film, and into our hearts, with a short appearance in Captain America Civil War. Tom Holland plays the young Peter Parker this time, and even in a film filled to the brim with a who's who of crime fighters, he manages to steal the show as easily as he steals Captain America's shield. Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past. Quicksilver is more than just Marvel's answer to The Flash. He's his own brand of accelerated momentum, and he displays his fancy footwork, sense of humor, and penchant for kleptomania in X-Men Days of Future Past. Every scene in the film gets a little bit more exciting with the presence of Quicksilver, most notably a scene in which audiences are able to see what life is like from his perspective. The speedy Peter Maximoff not only stops bullets from hitting his fellow mutant friends, but has a good time messing with everyone in the room, since he has the extra time. It may be one of the best and most memorable scenes in a superhero movie, thanks to the scene-stealing Quicksilver. There are plenty more movie characters who steal the entire movie, so which ones did we forget? Let us know in the comments. While you're at it, you can also like, share, subscribe, and watch videos like this one on the Screen Rant YouTube channel. Thanks for watching!